In our previous Mercedes S-Class video, we've seen all the details about the design, the features and the luxury the new flagship sedan from Mercedes offers. But a very important aspect of any car is the driving experience. And with the new chassis, along with air suspension, all-wheel drive and revolutionary rear-wheel steering, how is the new S to drive on the road? Well, watch the video to find out.
You're watching the autoX YouTube channel. You can also get your daily dose of all things automotive on our website, autox.com, and follow us on social media. Don't forget to check out our monthly magazine and make sure to hit the bell and subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
Of course, since the S-Class is such a big deal for Mercedes, the brand new platform of the W223, the car that we're driving, also features construction which has a lot of aluminum content in it, which means that despite the new S-Class being longer, taller, wider, better wheelbase, it actually weighs less than the outgoing car, which also means the dynamics are slightly affected. My first impression of driving the S-Class is how nimble it feels. The steering is direct, it's responsive, there's a decent amount of feel to it. And the engine is actually quite a good unit. It's a 3-litre straight 6, 362 bhp, 500 Nm of torque. The torque comes up from 1600 rpm, flat curve till 4000. So the S-Class responds really quick to throttle inputs. It's fast, 0 to 100 comes up in just, I think, 5.1 seconds, just over 5 seconds. So it's more than fast enough for our needs. The 4MATIC all-wheel drive also helps here, so putting the power down in association with the 9G-tronic 9-speed automatic gearbox is really easy. The 9-speed has been evolving in the Mercedes range. It now shifts faster and better than previous iterations. It's still not perfect. It can still stutter a little bit here or there, but I think it's a very, very good application. In this case, it's very refined, and usually I don't even use the pedals that are available on this car. The other thing is the air suspension also has multiple driving modes, so you can set it into economy, comfort, sport. Of course, the engine mapping, the gearbox, the suspension, everything gets adjusted. In comfort, the S-Class actually feels a bit too soft. The ride can be quite wallowy, but I think some people quite like that when they want to be seated in the rear. That can be quite good. And in sport, it really ties down and starts working even better. Another shocking thing about the whole driving experience is the amount of warnings you get, is the amount of sensors that are monitoring what you're doing, whether you're too close to the car in front of you, whether the cars or vehicles around you are too close to you. So all those warnings keep coming up. That's because the S-Class comes equipped with 5 radars and 12 ultrasonic sensors that are working all the time. And you know, these are systems that work fantastically well when you're in an organized country or an organized area like Europe or the US or Canada. But in India, where traffic is all over the place, where we convert 3 lanes of road into 6 lanes of road, these systems go into overdrive, and you know, you get beeps and warnings and alerts all the time, which can be slightly annoying at times. But I mean, you know, it's a safety feature, and I think if you experience the S-Class, if you live with it for a while, you get used to these things. You can also switch off some of the assists which are very difficult to use in India, such as, you know, the lane keeping assist, which monitors your lane if the lane is clearly marked and keeps your car within the lane, which in India is hard to use because half the time the lanes are not marked. So all those things are of course designed more for environments where the S-Class sells in large numbers, but they also work quite effectively in India, and if used judiciously, they could be quite good. The whole driving experience, because of the mass, like I said, because of the all-wheel drive, is quite nice. The S-Class feels really nice. It's quick, it's fast, but there are a few caveats that you have to observe. First, with the 20-inch wheels, low-profile tires, 40s in the front, 30s in the rear, the ride on medium speeds on bad roads can be quite stiff, so you have to be careful, and you can easily you know, burst a tire or two on our roads. So that's something you have to be careful about. 2, the A-pillar is quite big, and you know, when you're trying to turn on both sides, it can really get into your vision. So that's something that you have to also take care of. 3, and I know this is a small item, but it's a pet peeve. It's something that has really annoyed me since I saw it. The new key of the S-Class. I mean, it just, I don't know what to make of its design. It looks cheap, it's chrome, and I don't know, it just looks like something that's not much effort has been put into its design. Ford, like I said earlier, I don't like the controls on the steering wheel. They're fiddly to use, and you have to take your eyes off to control it. Something I don't enjoy. And fifth, these seat controls, I tried them on all 4 doors. They feel really good to the touch. They have a knurled finish to it. They're all metal, but they move slow slightly. I mean, it's impossible to tell at times whether you've even used the seat control, because the movement, they used to toggle slightly in earlier versions, is completely eliminated. So it just feels less satisfying to use, because you really can't work out whether the command you're giving in is functioning or not. So these are my 5 pet peeves with the S-Class. But let me come back to the positives. The S-Class really raises the game when it comes to connectivity and integration of technology into cars. The way the whole screen has been integrated, it's an OLED screen. I'm still thinking of buying an OLED TV at home because it's really expensive, but the S-Class is fitted with an OLED screen. Terrific resolution, terrific 360-degree view package. The parking facility works really well, and the dynamics also work really well, because one of the big things with the old S-Classes, it was a big car, so is this one, and turning in tight areas, 3-point turns, was difficult. You would have to often do a U-turn as a 3-point turn. But with the rear wheel steering, remember I told you about the staggered sizes of the tires, the 255s and 285s. So in India, on these versions, the rear wheel steering turns 4.5 degrees either way. So if you're trying to do a tight turn at slow speed, if you're trying to turn right, the rear wheel steering turns the other way. So it decreases your turning circle by up to 2 meters. In fact, Mercedes claims that the S-Class turns in the same space as an A-Class sedan, which is huge. And having driven it around town, I didn't exactly measure that dimension, but it feels to be true. The S-Class turns quickly, it turns very, sort of nimbly, and it feels so much more easier to turn and park around town. Also, on versions which will have similar size tires, front and rear, the degree of the steering used can go up to 10 degrees. So I think that's something we can expect in cars that come with non-AMG spec later on in the year, or maybe next year, as and when Mercedes launches them. That rear wheel steering also helps at high speeds, because it turns in the same way that you're turning, and it cuts down the steering time, it makes it more accurate. The steering feels more faster, more accurate, and I think it's just fantastic how well that feature has been integrated into the car. Then comes to the comfort, the massage seats, the luxury, all that Mercedes offers. All 4 seats have massaging, all 4 seats have ventilation, which is brilliant. The air conditioning works well, as you would expect. That rear lounge seat is absolutely worth the money. And of course, at the end of the day, it's an S-Class. When you come up in a car like this, when you turn up, whether it's your friend's house or your relative's house or your office or at a 5-star hotel, people know you've arrived. So I would think quintessentially the S-Class moves the luxury sedan game forward by quite a significant margin. This is a huge leap ahead even by Mercedes' own standards. Forget its competitors. Only a few flies in the ointment. I think the ride comfort will go better if you switch to smaller wheels, or you buy a smaller wheel version, which will come in the future. 2, the pricing is quite high. I know the launch versions are always expensive on the S-Class, which was the case in the last generation too. But this costs 2.2 crores ex-showroom. That's a lot of money. But I think, they'll have limited supply, and I don't see the problem of S-Classes not selling. These initial lot, I believe, were already spoken. 50% of them were spoken at the date of the launch, and I think pretty much 100% of them would be sold out. So those are my pet peeves, and I think the biggest pet peeve is sometimes the technology integration is good, but sometimes it doesn't work as reliably as you would like. But overall, I can't complain given the comfort, luxury, technology, design, and the features. Is this the best luxury sedan in the world? I would say undoubtedly yes. But is it perfect? No. There are a few small areas that can be better, that can be improved upon. But to be honest, nothing else in the segment comes close when you look at it as an overall package.